I've been decluttering for a few years now, and there have definitely been times where I struggled during the decluttering process. In today's video, I want to share with you several different things to avoid when decluttering to make the process go by faster and smoother if you are struggling with the decluttering process as well. On my channel, I talk about minimalism and simple living, so if that sounds interesting to you, make sure you hit that subscribe button below if you haven't done so already. Do not declutter too much at once. Once you start decluttering, you can get so excited and so enthusiastic about decluttering, you might just go on a rampage and start decluttering everything from your home. The problem with this is that you're going to end up feeling overwhelmed, stressed, and most importantly, burnt out. Instead of decluttering all at once your entire home, break everything down into smaller projects and focus on one section at a time. For example, start with a shelf or a cabinet, a drawer, the pantry, underneath the sink of your bathroom or your kitchen. By starting out small, you're going to avoid feeling overwhelmed and stressed out. So I really recommend you guys just taking it one step at a time and focusing on a smaller task rather than looking at the overall picture and decluttering everything at once. Do not organize before you declutter. A lot of people think that their problem is that they are not organized enough, and so they go out and buy all these storage bins and containers and baskets and bring them into their home only to find that they have too much stuff and all these products do not work. A lot of people make this mistake, and you definitely want to first declutter before you organize. When you are decluttering, you're going to reduce your inventory a lot, or at least that's what the goal is. And by the time that you have taken all that inventory out that you're going to declutter, you're going to have a smaller selection of items to work with. So you are going to be able to organize that a lot better than if you just do not declutter first and then organize. Also, do not declutter someone else's stuff. I've talked about this a couple of times on my channel where I have decluttered my partner's stuff by accident. It didn't turn out very well. This can definitely cause a strain in your relationship with your partner, your family, your friends, whoever you are trying to help out. And I know it's definitely coming from good intentions if you want to help someone declutter, but if you want to do that, you want to make sure that they're there with you so they can see what you're doing instead of kind of going behind their back and decluttering for them, because you never know that you might accidentally be decluttering something that is important to them or that they're going to use. I suggest you focus on decluttering your own personal belongings first before you go ahead and tackle somebody else's things. It can be so tempting to get someone's stuff and declutter for them, but if you are going to do that, you either want to let them know or have them there with you while you are decluttering. Sometimes we might live with people or know people that need help decluttering, but maybe they're not ready yet to take that step or anything like that. So the thing that you can do is lead by example, and you never know, they might follow through and start decluttering their stuff on their own. And you definitely do not want to push people too hard to declutter, because that can also just cause a strain in your relationship. I know this because I speak this from experience when I decluttered some of my partner's stuff, and it was a whole thing that shouldn't even have happened. So trust me, don't declutter for other people. Do not focus on what you are getting rid of. Instead, focus on the things that you are keeping. A common problem is that people will focus too much on the stuff that they're getting rid of instead of what they are keeping. And this is going to make you feel like you are depriving yourself, which is definitely not the feeling that you want to feel when you are decluttering, because decluttering should feel liberating and you should have a sense of freedom when you are letting things go. So shift your mindset and focus on what you are keeping and how those things are going to add value to your life and how much you're going to use them, as opposed to the other clutter that you are going to get rid of that is just buried underneath a bunch of stuff, and that's in the back of the cabinets or something like that, and that is never being used. A lot of people get stuck during this part because they think about the person that gifted this item to them or how much money they spent on the item, but instead you want to think about what you are gaining from decluttering. You are gaining a sense of freedom. You are letting things go. You are getting more space, more energy. You know, those are the things that you should be focusing on when you are decluttering, instead of the monetary value of something or because someone gave this to you and you feel bad about letting it go. Another thing that you can think about is that this item that you are letting go, it's probably going to serve purpose to another person who might actually need it and is going to use it. So this is true for anything that you might be donating, and just think about the other person who is going to bring your item into their home and think about how it's going to serve them in their life. Another thing to not do is to don't think about too much how you're going to dispose the items. There are several different options that you can take when you are decluttering your things. You can sell them, you can donate them, you can regift them. So there are definitely different methods that your items can get disposed, but do not sit there and try to think about that with every single item that you are holding. This is only going to slow you down. What I like to do is put out a box or a basket and put everything in there, and then later decide once I'm done decluttering if it's something that is worth selling, if it's something that is going to be recycled or thrown away or even donated or maybe even regifted in the future. If you do this process with every single item you are doing while you are decluttering, it's just going to prolong the process even longer, and you might also just get burnt out thinking about it. Do not think about decluttering as a one-time event. Decluttering is going to be an ongoing process. For example, for me, I still declutter to this day, but I don't declutter as much as I used to back when I first started. I like to think about decluttering as a muscle that you are building. In the beginning, it might be somewhat of a struggle to declutter. You might be slow at it at first. You might be feeling unsure or overwhelmed. But after time goes by and you just start decluttering every once in a while, you are building that muscle that is just going to make things a lot easier for you in the future when it comes to decluttering. I have been decluttering my things for over 2 years now, and in the beginning there was definitely a lot that I had to declutter and think about letting go. And now, since it's been so long that I've been doing this, I do declutter less because I do have less things now, but it is a lot easier to let things go now because I just have realized the importance of things that I actually love, use, and value. Whereas before, I didn't have that mindset just yet, and it was quite a bit of a struggle for me to let those things go. In the beginning, you might not see the benefits yet of decluttering, but after some time, like I said, you are going to notice the benefits of having a clutter-free home. Your home's going to be more tidy, there's going to be less maintenance involved. So you're definitely going to want to keep that habit in your life, and it's just going to be something that is going to be part of your journey for a long time. Do not aim for perfection. So we see on Instagram or Pinterest or TV shows all the time of these beautiful, organized, clear homes, and although we strive to have something like that, it's probably not very realistic depending on your own lifestyle. Do not get caught up in the beautiful pictures on Instagram and Pinterest of very organized homes with matching containers, matching baskets and bins and things like that, because the whole goal about decluttering is to create a functional space and home that works for you. What works for you might not work for that person that you saw on Instagram, and that is okay. How it looks is not the most important priority you should have. It should be the function and how it's going to work for you and or your family. Decluttering isn't about achieving a beautiful Pinterest, Instagram, magazine-worthy home. It's about what works for you and simplifying your life. So those are all the several different things that you should not do when you are decluttering. So I hope you guys enjoyed this and found this helpful. I only wished that I saw something like this before I started decluttering because there were quite a few mistakes that I made. So I'm hoping that my experience will help you out in your decluttering journey. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to leave a thumbs up and make sure you are subscribed down below if you're not already. I would love to see you in the next video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!